You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Reign After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Reign After Show.
Yes. Oh.
All right, here we go.
Wait for it.
I'm ready though.
I've never seen a diamond in the flesh.
I want to sing for you guys, but I just know that it's bad.
I like it when you sing.
I know, the headphones are so good. Just kind of counting it in, guys.
Yeah,
Keep on beat.
Yeah. This is just how we feel every time we watch Reign. We're like, oh, I want to be royal.
At least we said at least like a duchess, some kind of title.
Just let me be anything.
You know?
I will really do anything.
This
but
is your part.
You guys. Oh. Phil.
Wait for it, Phil.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You're supposed to sing.
Jam session.
Turn this off.
Okay. All right. Let's just get
Fans.
started.
I have been
Everyone.
taken hostage. Not only do I have to be in the booth, I have not even been able to see this episode. The ladies will not let me be royal. And you know
Okay.
what? I will. That doesn't mean I will not participate. I will put forth the best effort to participate in tonight's discussion of Reign. I will watch it later.
Ooh. All right.
You know.
Let's backpedal a little bit. That's Phil in the booth. He
People know me.
Is trying. Yeah, people know him. He speaks blasphemy.
Yeah.
But hello, everyone. Welcome
Welcome.
to AFTERBUZZ Reign. Big week off. It was really.
I missed you guys.
Like totally forgot that there wasn't an episode last week,
I saw
and
your
I was
tweet.
like all ready to, and then
So did Keaton. She showed up. I had to give her a
No,
beer
stop.
to calm her down. I swear to God, I was like, "Oh, honey, sorry."
I tweeted at her. Okay. Anyways, episode 17.
Yes.
Liege Lords.
Yeah, you can be a liege lord back there, Phil. And just for the record, the lies he tells, okay? He could have watched the show whenever he wanted to. He could arrange to be out here. I just think he likes to hear you guys fawn over him and like, come on, Phil, come on.
And it's working because I did accidentally call him
Not
Bash.
that I want to spend. Not
She
that I
did.
want to spend time on this because fans don't really care ultimately.
Yeah.
They do care.
When am I supposed to watch it? Oh, I have the leash to do what I want. Yeah, when I'm doing what? Helping you guys produce?
Rich
Yeah,
people
tell me.
problems.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm rich.
Anyways, we've got Phil in the booth. I am your host, Meagan Medick, and we have the lovely...
Oh, yes, thanks. Hi, guys. It's Fahnia Thomas.
All right.
Missed you last week.
We did. We definitely did. Let's dive right in. We started off the episode with a little Kenna Bash chitter chatter, and I'm so glad we did because that was so awkward in the last episode. Like, curveball out of left field. These two are married. So I was happy that they just addressed it right away.
Me too, because it's just awkward, and I kind of see where they could have some fun with this, with the writers and what's coming up. And I kind of liked seeing Kenna a little jealous about Bash, and when Mary went up later on, when Mary went up to him and was like, hey, I need your help. I kind of like that because for a while I just felt like she just wants to be wed and off with some royal. I wasn't really feeling her because she's the mistress of Mr. Henry. But now I'm like, okay, she's humanized.
Yeah. I think that they have great potential, but they just have to experience that. I think that if this whole, like, you were forced to be married and the circumstances were completely different, that they would hit it off.
For sure.
But, I have to say, I think Bash was like a total stand-up man in this episode, and I was loving him
Me too.
to death. I think that he is fabulous, and I think that this is the bash that is better without Mary. Sorry.
He's always coming in on the white horse. He is Prince Charming. When he said, I will always defend you, you are my wife now, I was like, that's the bash I know.
Yeah.
I love it when he talks like that. I cannot get over him. Did you guys hear that?
Phil, you okay?
I had guests.
Oh.
Now you're making it hard. Now you brought dogs in. I got people visiting me. I can't even get a word in.
It sounded like you passed out.
Phil, I just feel like you're hijacking. You're trying to turn people against us by saying that we throw you in the booth. Now you have all these excuses. I don't know what's going on, but anyways.
Back to Bash and Kenna.
Yes.
How awkward was it when the king was talking to Bash about like his sexy time with Kenna and like how her from behind is like a doe? Like, whoa.
Basically what he was saying is like, I'm in with animals.
Like bestiality?
Uh-huh.
Ew.
No, okay, I'm obviously joking, but yeah, that was totally weird. And he was like, your firstborn could be the king's son. Like, that's a gift.
Yeah, awkward.
Yeah,
like,
you've lost it. Like,
but I'm
totally,
glad
totally crazy.
she cleared it up and said I didn't sleep with him because like I said, she's already become human, and I think that they are two hot messes coming together, which could potentially be something. So, give it a try.
Yeah, and she finally, I think, is over King Henry and the entire appeal of that.
Because he's cuckoo. He's crazy.
He's totally crazy. And I think Penelope is really riding this out.
Why is she still it was so weird. Why is the Bean Queen still roaming around as the queen? Like,
as the queen. Did you guys even know, like, Catherine wasn't even wearing a crown this episode because Penelope is wearing them.
I didn't
and sitting in her throne. No, it's such a joke. And Penelope's all goes up to Catherine. Like, this little chick has balls. She was like, she does. Oh, Henry's going to put diamonds in my crown because he says it would sparkle like me. Like, this chick has some serious balls.
She does. I'm over her. I'm ready for her to have a seat somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like unfortunately, back to the kitchen. Like, enough.
Sorry.
Like, it's just odd, and the fact that everyone's going along with this still, it's just odd.
But I think it was Basher Francis. Someone was saying that she might be a good distraction right now because she's taking Henry's mind off of other stately matters, and it's allowing Catherine the opportunity to kind of go in and clean up state matters and like be the authoritative figure and rule France, so people aren't really getting the what's King Crazy up to.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. I get it. Okay, she can stick around then. It was just a little weird.
Well, only for the sake of France.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can handle her for like maybe 2 or 3 more episodes, maybe 2.
Yeah,
and then
2.
She needs to go. She needs to get to getting.
Yeah, well, I think the king is gonna figure out that he's not really in love with her. He's more of a lust.
Yeah, I don't think he's in love. I don't think he's in love with her. I think she's a good time gal. You know.
Yeah,
like,
she's DTF. DTF.
She is.
Yeah. Totally down. But another lady in waiting, Miss Lola.
I wasn't expecting this. I was totally taken aback and shocked.
Yeah, no. Well, her and Lord Julian are totally hitting it off. I think he is so cute, and there's something about him that is super charming. But he also has something that's a little unsettling. I couldn't put my finger on it, but then, and he kind of touched on it too. Like, so he revealed that he's had 2 wives before, and they have both died giving childbirth. So I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's sad.
That's so sad. Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
But then he kind of was, telling Lola, I'll forget about your past if you forget about mine. So what else?
There's more to the story there because... So that's why he doesn't want to have children, is because the 2 that passed during childbirth, and why he doesn't want to get married. Check. But what else is going on? Like, it's too good to be true. And I think we're going to find out more about Julian.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Don't be mad, fans. Who was the guy that was trying to swoop Mary up at like the very, very beginning of the season, and Mary almost married him, and then they found out that he had like murdered his wife?
Oh no, that was like the mean crazy guy.
Yeah.
He was no. He was like Latin. I feel like he was
from Latin.
descent.
Okay, you guys tweet us. Let us know.
You talking about the Portuguese guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
Never mind. Phil to the rescue.
Yeah.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks for coming out of the booth and joining the show.
Yes, the Portuguese guy that at first we were like, oh, he like loves her. He's
he was
down,
like a man,
whatever.
like a wife beater. He was crazy too.
Yeah.
But by the way, going back to you guys tweeting us, go to iTunes, check us out, like us, comment, let us know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. We like to read your comments on YouTube as well, and it helps us do a better show, which helps you guys because then you'll enjoy the show better too.
Yes, and Phil's barely on Twitter, so tweet him to get him a little more active.
Yeah, because he's so busy.
Like right now. He's so busy right now. But anyways, so Lord Julian, he like straight up is like, I want to marry you. Like, we're both annoying. Like, we're both fun. Like, oh, we're both annoying. Like, excuse me.
That's a diss, but okay. Like, low key, that's a diss. But
yeah, but he meant it in an endearing way. But basically, we're all like, yes, yes, yes. Like, he is going to propose. Like, finally, there's a solution to this bun in the oven. And then, like, boom, I don't want any kids.
I wasn't expecting her to confess that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, Reign Riders, like, what's going to happen? Like, that was, okay, that was pretty intense. But I'm glad that it worked out. But now it seems like they left us hanging a little bit because it's a little too good to be true.
Yeah.
And there's something going on with his past.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he's still apparently down for this marriage.
I know, but why?
I don't know. Yeah. But then why is he so okay with her not revealing who the father is?
Because
like,
he's got skeletons.
For sure. That's why. He's like, oh, tit for tat, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't just like marry someone who reveals to you that they're pregnant and then won't tell you the father, but still accept that you're going to father this child.
So his past must be real serious. By the way, now that we're talking about him, he's kind of dreamy. He's kind of cute.
Yeah.
He's a little foxy.
It's a CW.
Yeah. He's handsome.
Yeah. That would have been great for Greer. I wonder if Greer's parents know what happened.
Oh, gosh, sweet baby Jesus. Poor Greer.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Lola is about to show and Julian is super, super, super down.
Yeah.
So that's going to make Mary and Francis pretty happy. Mary was smiling ear to ear when he was like, this stunning creature. Another odd word choice from him. And I are getting married.
I guess if you put stunning in front of creature, it makes it less weird.
Yeah, we're all just, I guess, animals.
Well, yeah, I guess. Huh. But we're not as royal, though.
Yeah. I'm a royal, that's for sure. So really this episode, the main zinger that we were all on our edge of our seats, this contract that Mary and Francis find out that says, spoiler alert, Phil.
Spoiler alert!
It's only for you, though.
For you.
That was a good sound effect, though.
Yeah, it's basically they snuck in the contract that if Mary does not produce an heir and dies, then France will claim Scotland. So, first of all, let's break that down. Basically, if they could murder Mary and cover it up, and France would take Scotland, they would own it.
Right.
So to add insult into injury, because this is so messed up towards Mary, we find out that her mom was in on this and was like, pay me a large sum of money and I will sign off on this contract. Like, great. Thanks, Mom.
I feel like, and they mentioned this during the show, like she probably felt like, you know what, she's gonna have kids, it doesn't matter anyways, it's a win-win, you know. I want to have Mom's back on that side, but it's hard.
That's a big gamble.
Well, because you expect your child to have an heir, like you expect her to have kids.
Yeah.
So
am I the only one who thinks it's completely unreasonable that everyone is like breathing down Mary's back so hard? Like, has it been that long?
Yes, it's been way too long. She needs to have a baby already.
I hope people aren't acting like that towards me.
Well, you're not royalty.
Say what?
Newsflash! Breaking news. Sorry. Yeah, she needs to get in and have.
Plus, you're not married.
Oh, yeah, there's that too.
Are you married? You're not
No,
married.
Phil, thanks for bringing it up. I'm not a royal.
Do you want to be married? Like,
No.
is that a thing? Like, are
No.
you really upset you want to be married? Hey,
No.
guy
No.
fans out there listening, Megan needs to get married.
Yes.
She needs to consummate this marriage and have babies. Call in.
Call in.
Colin. We're not going to watch the consummation, though.
Operators are standing by.
Thank you for that PSA.
Tweet
Oh.
us.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, I'm at the Bow Wow Gal, so if there are any proposals out there, I will consider. And
I love it.
you can hit Fahnia up too, because I'm not going to take this on alone.
Yeah, you guys. I will definitely filter and find the man. Oh, we'll marry you off.
All right.
We'll have the wedding right here.
Maybe we could have like the best marriage proposal come in and be a special guest. Phil?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to, okay, none of that flower stuff. Like, you got to come up with something really, really special if you want to consummate.
If
anything.
you come up with a really, really, if you want to consummate, you're talking about consummating me, Phil. So if you want to come in and be a special guest.
No, I'm not consummating. There's a consummation.
Where are we going?
All right, hit me with the best.
This is how
most
deals
creative
happen, by
marriage
the way.
proposal.
This is how deals happen. Just so you
Yeah.
know, this is how Mary's mother and everyone else negotiated the deal.
Twitter?
If they had Twitter, probably.
Yes. Okay. All right. So you guys know what to do.
Right.
Let me know. Okay. So let's go back to this contract.
So the secret clause, basically, Mary is, what is it? She's without an heir. She's worth more dead than alive.
Yeah, so basically she's a threat. Just by being
Right.
alive and walking around the castle right now, she's a threat. But what I did like here was her and Francis were a team. Like they teamed, and this is something that like makes their relationship not so strong is that, and I worry about is their lack of communication. They're both kind of strong-headed. They both want to be rulers, and they really came together and they were like, let's devise a plan. And they both kind of knew this was stabbing their own mother in the back. But Mary, I loved how loyal she was to Scotland.
Yes.
She really showed her true colors and was like, if my mom is willing to accept money over her country, that's unacceptable. Let the country deal with her. They can answer to me and then respect us both as leaders. So they come up with this plan and they're like, well, we got to throw a big party.
I love it. And I love, because she was actually being queenly. Like, she was in her queendom.
Queenly?
Yes. Like,
Hashtag queenly.
all right, Jimmy. Like, it was, I love that. So it's finally like she's coming into her own. And I hope this is more of what we're seeing from her, like playing her position. So right on Mary and right on Francis.
Yeah.
We're having her back.
Yeah, they were a cute little team. I thought that they were going to consummate right then and there, but unfortunately it didn't happen.
And can I say, well, we won't
You
get
can-
that
you
far
can
ahead.
say.
Oh, well,
You
I'll
can
say
say.
this right now. A shout out to Mary's ensemble because it was totally representing Scotland. The
Yeah.
jewels, the dress. Loved it. Loved it.
The, what's it called? The plaid.
Yes.
It was like a plaid mermaid wedding gown.
It was so high fashion. Like,
I will wear anything they wear on the
I
show.
love the costumes.
Love
Love the
I will
wardrobe.
wear-
all y'all.
What about you, Phil? You into wearing the costumes?
Depends on the costume.
That's a yes. Okay, but we also find out that Catherine has
The flying
I'm
squad.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flying squad?
Yeah, so Charlotte approaches Mary and like, hey, I spilled something on you, come chat with me. And we find out about the flying squad, which is actually sounds just like Kathy, something she would do. Very crafty.
I'm not surprised that she has these secret ladies, but what the heck? Like,
That's how she gets her intel. That's her gossip. Those are her that's her, spies. They're ladies who sleep with men to get all the gossip and dirt.
okay, so this Charlotte, Catherine wanted her to sleep with Henry to get Penelope out of the way,
Right.
and
right.
that's that.
And that's that. But then Charlotte was like, hey, yo, Mary, I know what's up. I got some information for you. If you help me get out of here, because the king is mad and I'm not going in there.
Yeah.
And Catherine gets mad
I'm
at
going
us.
in. I'm going in.
Yes.
And I'm going to go hard. And I'm going to go hard.
I love it. So yeah, so she was
Sorry.
scared because Catherine was like, she doesn't.
Yeah.
Charlotte was like, Catherine doesn't take kindly to us saying no. We're not going to go sleep with
Jesus.
so and so.
Okay. Well, anyways,
There's that.
we have the flying squad. It's a weird situation. So we find out about the contract via them. And then Kenna actually steps up to the plate and is like, okay, well, if we need proof, like, I'll go in there, even though it was scary. And her and Bash had just had this, like, okay, I'm not going to sleep with your dad anymore talk.
It's so
Totally
awkward.
normal. Totally normal. But yeah, so Kenna goes in, and then that's just a scary. Like, he's
she gets
just
caught.
so scary.
He's very creepy right now.
And I don't know, like, when he's normal-ish and when he's not. Like,
I think
my
it's safe to say he's
judge-
always not.
Okay, well, my judge is if he's wearing shoes or not. Because in the last episode when he was marrying Bash and Kenna, I was like, okay, if he's not wearing shoes, then he's like apeshit cray. And then it like goes down from there.
Did he have on shoes this episode?
Yeah, he was wearing shoes, so that's why I'm like, okay, he's not apeshit cray.
But did he have on shoes at the end?
Probably not. Props not. Props not. We can go back. Hashtag props
Props
not.
not.
Okay, well, we can go back and check out if he
Yeah.
if he's,
We'll have to
has
rewind.
shoes or not. But we got to get into Lord Mackenzie. Okay, so Lord Mackenzie is he's the main Scotland guy who is at this party. And Catherine just like hates all these Scots right off the bat.
At first she does.
I mean, they are drinkers, and I'm like, hell yeah, it's St. Patty's Day up in there. And I love that holiday. So she starts, should we talk about Catherine or should we talk about?
Let's talk about Liam first.
Okay.
Let's talk about him and Catherine. Because she was hating them at first. But then this guy who has no idea who she is just talks to her normally. And I think that is what attracted her. Like, he's just normal.
Well, she was probably like, I don't even want to say this, but she's probably like, I can finally get some D around here. Like everybody else, because the king is crazy. He's off with Penelope. These people don't even know I'm the queen. Like, this guy's like a little drunk. He's like a little flattering, like, oh, I like how you stood up to the queen over there, like stupid Penelope. And she's probably like, finally, I have one small window of opportunity to get it done with no one breathing down my neck. So
I could see that.
girls gotta make some moves.
Phil, how do you feel about Queen Catherine sleeping with a regular? Was he noble?
He's just like a guy.
He was like a knight or soldier.
Yeah, he just was like he was
As
with
long as
Lord
people
Mackenzie.
don't talk, it's all good.
Well, he won't be talking. No,
Yeah, well,
not at all. So
Not at
after that all happens and it feels, great, and he figures it out.
yes. Well, obviously she was queen, but that guy was probably like, why does this handmaiden want to bang me in the queen's quarters? Like, have a brain, bro.
I don't think he cared. I
No,
think
he
he was
didn't
thinking with
care.
his little bro. That's
Yeah,
why.
little
And he was
bro.
just like, let's get it done. But then he was just so cute, and it was just so endearing how
was
like
cute.
he was like, oh, you go ahead, Lord Mackenzie, and have your whores when and he's just like
Oh
on
my
cloud
gosh.
nine.
And then one second he finds out she's queen, like after they bang. He's like, well, I guess it doesn't make sense for me to bow to you now. Like, no, it's okay. We're past the opening lines, sir. Like you've done what you've done. So while he's off doing that, his man, Lord Mackenzie
is meeting.
is meeting with Mary. And at first they're like, Mary and Francis are like, no, we want a one-on-one. And then Kenzie's like, no, all my guys are coming. And then she's like, you know what? Like, screw it. All of you guys get in here. I have got something to say. So she basically divulges the whole contract and how her mother betrayed Scotland. And at first they were like, no, like, we don't know you. Like, we've been suffering. Like,
Yeah.
I watched your father die. I've watched our countrymen suffer while you've been living here in France. Like, you don't know anything about us. So Mary, like, pulls on her big girl queen panties and just, like, tells them what is up. And like, Frances was standing behind her and just was like, holy crap.
He was giddy like a little schoolgirl when it was all over.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my God, look at him. He's all like,
Yeah, he's like
giddy.
proud of her. He's so down. But she like was out to get her mom. She was like, tell this religious group that doesn't like her. Tell the Protestants, tell the noblemen, like, get the word out there because this is what they want. He was like, how could you defy your mother?
She was very smart in this episode because when
smart.
Lord Mackenzie came in, he didn't like her. He was like, I'm not dealing with you.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, she totally flipped it and made it so that they were on her side and showed like where her loyalty lies in her country. So I think that was very smart of her, how she was like, no, I'm here for, don't get it twisted. Just because I live here doesn't mean I'm representing France. I am Scotland all the way. And I loved how they bowed to her and was like, all right, you're our queen. What do you need us to do? And like, they were down for her.
Yeah. Amen. You said it all. Like the guy like whipped out his sword and they all just bow down.
Bow down, Beyonce. Okay, so yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. It's like she's being a queen, finally. Like,
yeah, she is being a queen, and Francis loves it at first, but like we all know where this is gonna go with them.
well, it's a power struggle constantly with these two.
Yeah, it totally is a power struggle. But we have this whole struggle now of Mackenzie needing to get out of the country, him and all of his men. But
Liam and his damn pillow talk, like,
yeah. Well, they couldn't have just gone out of the country. They had to have a real nightcap on their hands.
but they wouldn't have known if Liam didn't say, oh, my lord wants to get out of here. If he didn't die, spill the bean.
But he was like on cloud 9.
Pillow talk gets you in trouble every time.
He was like, oh, Lord Mackenzie thinks he's so cool with his private with the queen when I got to do it with the real queen. Okay. Anyways.
She knew right away. Catherine was like, oh.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Catherine is so smart. She blows me away in every episode how she can just figure things out. But she ran to get that contract right away and just was like, she knows. And unfortunately, the next thing that we see is murder and rage.
Like Halloween style. Like I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
Although I should be from now because there's blood in the opening, but like the throat slicing and like woo.
Yeah, those poor
intense.
Those poor girls.
The whores were on top of them, but he did ask her, "Why do you keep looking at the door?" So I wonder if she knew something was happening. The Lord Mackenzie's hooker was on his lap, and she kept looking at the door, and he made reference to that. I wonder why.
Maybe she knew, but there was one man in the whorehouse that we both found to be a little uncomfortable looking. It was the guy. He was so cute, but he looked too young to be there with his curly hair, and like the hooker kept licking his ear, and he was just like this, like. And then you could just tell he was like, okay, I like it. Okay,
bless his heart. It was probably his first time.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm so glad that little moment happened for us to relish in. But so they burned the whole place down, and Catherine, you can tell she is actually distraught about what she had to do. She like after her noble or kingsman, her guard tells her, and she's like, are they all dead? And he's like, yes, every one of them. And she's like, what about the whores? He was like, we had to kill some of them. She like sat at her desk and like just buried her face in her hands and like did not move or do anything, and it looked like until the sun came up,
which was odd because she's the one that ordered the killing. So I wonder why she was so distraught.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Mary came in and slapped the shit out of her.
I wrote, she smacked the dog piss out of her.
Yeah. I wrote, she slaps her hard.
And then I wrote, she pimp slapped her.
Yeah, no, Mary just came in and like wasn't even thinking twice about it. I've seen one slap like that before. Shout out to her roommate, Jane. She slapped this guy.
Have you ever slapped anybody before?
No. Why would I
really
slap
fun.
Someone? But my friend, this is so off topic. My friend had a dream once that I slapped someone with a piece of ham defending her sandwich honor, which that sounds like something I would do because I love sandwiches. Have you ever slept anyone?
I have, like, but all in good fun. I was out with a friend, and this is a guy friend of mine, and like he did something to piss me off, and he was like, "Well, just smack me," and I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I smacked it, and it felt really good.
Well, that's okay. Let's just get everyone involved. If you have ever smacked anyone, please let us know. Everyone knows that I absolutely hate violence, but if it was in good fun, like
it was
like
fun.
Fahnia,
Like it feels good. Phil, have you already smacked anybody?
For me, I've punched people.
Oh.
I don't think guys really smack.
Oh, is that
he's
a
like,
chick
but I'm
thing?
about to smack you.
Well, no,
guys."
because pimps smack hoes.
Woo!
I don't know. I'm just
Right?
saying.
Not
Luckily or unluckily, I don't have hoes.
bash. Just bash. Oh, bash. Oh, bash.
Love Bash. So yeah, she goes in and she's like not having it. Again, she's being a queen. I love it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing Catherine can do. She knows she's in the wrong.
Well, Catherine just goes into this whole speech again about how this is what you have to do when you're a queen. I get it. Like in that moment, that's her go-to, and she's explaining to Mary why she did what she did, and this is what she's gonna have to do when she's a queen. And like that's like kind of her out because it puts things in perspective for Mary. But it's like we hear it every time.
I know.
And I was actually thinking when Catherine was going on that whole spiel, like if this is the way it goes day in and day out, I just was like, who said that to you when you were in Mary's position? Like, who are you emulating? And like, are you happy that you became, because you hear like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, Mary's going to be that girl one day saying that to somebody else.
Right.
Like, I just feel like you go through the chain, like who was telling that to her, and like is she happy with who she's had to become?
I think that's the position they play. Like as a queen, I don't like it either, but as a queen, you're gonna have things that you don't like to do. Men are going to die for you inevitably. So I get it, you know, but and I get Catherine inside. Like I don't have time for war. My husband's gone crazy, so her position is to do what she has to do.
Yeah,
and so is Mary's. So I get it. And I'm glad that Mary smacked her.
Yeah, why not? I mean, probably felt really good. But Mary, her rebuttal is a big one. Yeah. So Frances is like at first like super by Mary's side and is like, okay, like, yeah, like we have to figure out what we're going to do next. Like, I'm really, really sorry that this happened. But Mary just goes in once again with her pimp hand strong. And she is like, hey, listen, like, that's fine. You just killed my men from my country, but here's what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm gonna tell everyone that the king is crazy. And she was not even bluffing a little bit, but it was to the point where, like, Frances thought that she was bluffing.
Yeah.
And she wasn't. Like, she in this episode really showed where her loyalties lie. And I think that we do forget because, you know, everything is based in France, and her and Frances are now married. Yeah. But she is Mary, Queen of Scots. She is not the Queen of France yet. And this episode really stood her ground and was just like, I'm going to take care of my country. And I think that felt empowering to her to the point where she like was like, I like this. I'm going to go for it full force now.
I agree with that. And I'm glad that her people were there because you do get that sense of camaraderie, like, hey, you know, because we don't see the Scots because they are so far removed because they're in France. So I'm glad that they had a party for them and we got to see a side of that. And they should do it more often.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yeah. Bring those guys right on back.
But they can't die at the end, though.
Yeah.
Like, none of that. Like,
Catherine.
Let's just celebrate.
Yeah, that does really suck. But I mean, this is where, again, Frances and Mary, I think, are going to have some issues because, you know, Frances also wants to be king and Mary wants to be queen.
And she said it, you know, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I'm going to pick Scotland. So I'm glad that she was honest and she said it because that's where her those are her people. Like they will fight for her, which we saw tonight. Like they'll go to battle for her.
Yeah.
So
and I think that was a real shot of life for Francis because the look on his face was just like, wait, you're not France? Like you're not mine in France? Like that was just a real shot
reality
of life for
check.
him. It's a reality check, but I do still think that they're in love, even though once again, another night, no consummating.
Yeah, I want them to constantly be having intercourse because, well, I want her to have a baby.
Yeah, that's
why.
that's why I want them to do that too.
So weird.
Babies. But okay, so at the end of the episode, which is where we are now, we see the king start actually losing it in public, in court, and he sees this hallucination of a man who we think was him as a child.
The tennis boy ghost. It's either him as a kid, or maybe a son that he lost, or like a brother.
Something. I'm gonna vote that it was him as a kid, and he's like looking back, like, oh my god, like who does that guy think about? What does he think about me today? Okay. But again, like, you guys tweet us, comment, let us know.
Yeah, who do you guys
think?
I'm gonna say it's a brother. I'm gonna say it was a brother.
Okay, I'm gonna vote for the.
Ooh, maybe I feel like I want it to be a son though, like passed away. I'm gonna say brother.
Okay, brother. I'm going with it was him as a kid. But I found it interesting that after this whole hallucination, he wanted to lay on Kenna's lap, and he was like, "I miss your gentleness."
He's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, literally, he laid down in the middle of French court.
He just laid down, and he goes, "I get headaches," and she's like, "Good for you, bro. Like, get up off me."
Awkward.
Get up off me. So, of course, we've got Bash, who comes in and
saves the day.
He's like, "Father, I think Penelope is getting jealous." He's like, "Ugh, it's a burden. It's a burden that all these women love me and throw themselves at me."
He's very comical in all his craziness, the king.
Yeah. Oh, he's so entertaining. I still love him. I still think he's a total DILF.
And I like how, this is totally off topic kind of, but I like how Mary's her Scottish accent was very present. I feel like you brought that up when we were watching.
That is not off topic. She was Scottish in this episode.
Like, it came out thick tonight.
Yeah, definitely she was laying it on thick. But Bash says, "I will always defend you because you are my wife." And I'm like, okay, I honestly think that this can work out. Like, I think that if they both just like drop everything and maybe even pretend that they're not married and just try to start dating.
Right.
You know, like knowing that they're married, but just like try to start dating, get to know each other. Yeah. Like, I think that this can work out.
It could. And because the fact that he even sensed that it wasn't her trying to have him lay on my lap, that she was in actual distress, like needing help, that's a good sign. That they're kind of tuned in and there might be some chemistry and they're clicking.
Yeah.
That was a good sign.
Yeah. Well,
Bash saves the day.
I mean, that kind of wraps it up. They burn the contract. So Mary is now,
done.
Yeah. So Queen Catherine had no choice but to burn the contract because can't let crazy king news get out of the bag. So yeah, that kind of wraps it up. Phil, do you have anything you would like to add before we jump into predictions?
Unfortunately, that's very difficult for me, so I can't.
Do you want to comment on anything that we said about Bash and Kenna?
I'm gonna comment on some fans. You know what? I've been while you guys have been busy tweeting, I've been busy not listening. And you know, there's a lot of love for us on Twitter. And you know what? The most recent one, I don't know if I.
While you're looking, shout out to Italy because Italy's been watching.
The country.
Yeah,
yes.
The whole.
I'm totally gonna mispronounce. Is it Vita Vieira? Shout out to you for listening. Shout out to Samantha Renee. Shout out to Priscilla Biden. Love you, ladies. And Tickled Tea Lady. Love the username handle. Love that. Shout out to you, too. Thanks for tuning in and watching.
Yeah, you guys were all commenting on YouTube, and it was awesome.
We appreciate you.
We do really appreciate it. Phil, you got that tweet yet for us?
Yeah, this one comes from Malaysia.
Ooh.
It's at ASSYQEEN. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. So you know what? That's my special shout out of the week.
I thought they were... Are you going to read their tweet?
Oh, no. It just says like, oh, hey, can't wait for tonight's discussion of Reign. You know, hashtag Reign, at Keaton, at Fahnia, at PD Svitek. So, you know what?
I'm not even on there.
You're not special enough.
Shout out to Bow Wow Gal. Love you, boo.
I thought it was going to be my first marriage proposal.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, don't forget.
I'm not reading those till next week.
Oh, yes. Okay, let's go into predictions. Hit it, Bill.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm gonna let you go first.
I knew it. I need a minute. I'm just gonna go off the wall, off the cuff.
Off the wall.
You know, we're gonna find out more about Julian's past, and I think we're gonna find out more about Julian's past. That's all I got.
Okay, I think that we're gonna see a wedding soon between Lola and Julian. They're clock's ticking. I think that, well, we saw in the previews that Mary and Francis are going to get in a big fight. And I think that Bash and Kenna are going to hook up out of love, not because of the law is making them to.
Are they going to have a baby? There needs to be a baby already.
Yeah.
Baby to come
Let's
out.
hope. And maybe even, oh my gosh. Okay. And Clarissa's coming back. I know she's coming back. I just don't know when.
Okay. Speaking of Clarissa, did you see the guy that came in with the fires on the stick to burn up the whorehouse?
Yeah.
The second one? He looked like he could be Clarissa's brother or dad. Like, he looked a little cray-cray.
Maybe it was. There's a lot of incest happening in the castle. Well, at the very beginning of the episode, when Charlotte like spilled the drink on Mary, I thought she was like, when she was like, I have to tell you something, I thought that she was going to pull her out to tell her something about Clarissa. Because remember when the girl was like creepily singing that song?
Oh, that's
like,
right.
And like trying to get Nostradamus to hear. I was like, this is another one of those messengers. Anyways, I'm sure you guys have way better predictions than that. But that's what we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for tuning into AfterBuzz.
You know what?
Phil.
I wanna. This is from last week's, but I want to try to see if we can, because there's a few questions here.
Okay.
And some of them may have been answered again. I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
to
Let's do it.
If the king has syphilis, wouldn't his ladies show signs too? ?
I read this comment, and I was gonna answer it, but then it was like, I was confused as well, because I agree. I think the ladies should be showing, but wasn't Keaton telling us about some weird like pig intestine condom?
To be fair, Keaton told us that Kenna was the most powerful woman in all the land.
We miss you, Keaton.
Well, the syphilis isn't 100%. Like, we don't know that factual yet. That was just an explanation for the black water.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, but also like, Kenna did say that the king has ways of not getting us pregnant. So
he's been using a condom with her. The other two chicks we saw are dead.
Yeah.
Well, the queen would have. Well, unless he contracted it after the queen.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with the bean. The bean queen. Maybe she gets it.
Yeah, Penelope probably will get it. Is what I'm thinking, because she's skinky enough to give it a go. So yeah, no, I agree. That is a really good question.
Yes.
Hit me with another one, Phil.
Hit me with your best shot.
Any more brain busters?
There's a lot of comments and things like that, but yeah, there's some good stuff here.
I know you guys are seriously the best.
I like having the time to really read some of these, because these are really good. I know, and I give Fahnia a lot of credit. Fahnia's really commenting on all these, so.
Yay, Fahnia. And matter of fact, Katrina, darling, I like Bash and Francis. It just depends on the day. I'm a Gemini, so I am as fickle as they come. It's very hard to keep my attention.
Ooh.
By the way, we have now an AfterBuzz TV app. It is out for Android, iPhone, so if you have one of those smartphones, sorry if you have a Windows or BlackBerry, we don't have one for you. But it makes it easier to find your favorite TV shows and things of that nature. You can watch, you can listen. And, of course, you can comment, which, as you guys have been doing, I mean, you guys are really commenting up a storm. And that's, at the end of the day, for me, that's what it's all about.
It is.
I can comment in the booth, out of the booth, doesn't matter. I'm going to make a commitment. I'm going to comment a few times.
Yes. Oh, people just love that, Phil. Phil gets more love than anyone.
Giving the fans what they want.
Yeah, totally giving them what they want. Phil, can we wrap it up?
Very good, Keith Johnson.
All right.
Well, then, I guess that's a yes.
That is a yes, you guys. Phil, tell us where we can find you.
You can follow us here on AfterBuzz TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hey. Miss Fahnia?
Hey, guys, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fahnia Thomas.
And you can find me, Meagan Medick, on Instagram at Meagan Medick, or on Twitter at the Bow Wow Gal. And make sure you get those marriage proposals coming for your chance to be in studio with us. Thank you guys so much for tuning into AfterBuzz Reign tonight. We love you. See you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.